Hello and welcome to part 2 of the Katz's Delicatessen episode of the Fine Dining Podcast, The Search for the Most Mediocre Restaurant in America. I'm your host, Michael Ornelas. I'm joined by my girlfriend, Joyce.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You do it again.
No, we're not doing this one again. This is the one we're keeping.
Do it again.
You're shaking hands with our entire audience. Nice to meet you. Glad to have you on. You went with me to New York City. We went to Katz's Delicatessen. And now we get to jump into the review of Katz's. Before we dive into the atmosphere specifically, how'd you feel beforehand? Were you excited to do Katz's? Were you indifferent?
I was excited. I feel like I've seen this place on so many television shows that I felt like I wanted to go. I know it's a tourist spot, but it had such great reviews that I just felt like I had to try it if I was ever in New York. Because this is my first time in New York, too. So.
Yeah. And we were there for like 3 or 4 days, and we kind of went a little crazy with food. We also did November's Patreon episode. We went to Joe's Pizza and Famous Original Ray's Pizza. We had a couple. What were the other meals that we had? We did a cart hot dog.
Yeah, I had to. We had to, right?
It smelled so heavily of like 90s motor.
Yeah, I didn't like that part.
Yeah. It was just like everything was gas powered.
It's not worth it. Like, you think you need to try a hot dog from New York on one of those carts. I don't think it's worth it.
It's like a bucket list thing. Like you do it for the experience to look like you're in a movie.
I thought it would taste better.
It's just boiled hot dogs in a cart on the street.
I don't know. I really like Costco's hot dog, and it's just boiled hot dog.
That's fair.
Fine dining party of 2.
We're going to jump on into the review. We've been talking for quite a while. Our table is ready.
Your table is ready, follow me. Have you tried our chicken breast? Serving pancakes and ribs, I recommend the spaghetti. We're here to satisfy, not to impress. Your table is ready, complimentary butter and bread. These walls have road signs, knick-knack, cowboy hat, good luck cat, autographed guitar, some crap from your city. Behold the tchotchke of mediocrity. Fine dining, just fine dining, fine dining. 2 letters on the sign are shining, neon flickering, irregular timing. Identify the perfect 5 out of 10. Fine dining, fine dining.
Atmosphere.
So we've kind of touched on the atmosphere a little bit with our first impressions, but once we're seated, like the table spaces are packed. When I sat down, there was 2 people next to us. So we had a table of 6, but there were only 4 of us. But 2 people were eating at the other 2 spots. And my specific table setting had all the napkin holders, salt, pepper, and I was just like trying to eat around it. And then, of course, when the people next to us left, I pushed that stuff over and you were like, how are other people going to eat with that there? And I was like, how have I been able to eat with it in front of me?
I didn't realize all of them were on our table.
They were all on my spot of the table. I was kind of just eating around it, leaning over to your space because we split.
Yeah.
But yeah, tons of photos on the wall here of different celebrities, politicians, athletes, actors, singers, performers, world figures, like just everyone has been to Katz's, it seems like.
It's definitely a touristy spot, and it felt like one. So there's directions and decor, and you don't know which one's which.
That is true, because even the directions look like decor because they're like classic and vintage, and a lot of old Katz signs as well. Different like neon clocks and stuff like that. They did have signs hanging overhead, one that said, "Send a salami to your boy in the army." Here, give me one. Give me your best that phrase.
Send me a salami. Wait, say that again.
Nope, that's it. That's great. You nailed it.
Fantastic.
And then there's the Harry Met Sally. Like it says like, Sally sat here and Harry met Sally. Hope you have what she had or something like that.
That's cute.
But honestly, the biggest thing that stood out above all else was how many people were flowing in and out of here. Like, when I think of this restaurant, everything's kind of a blur because there was just so much foot traffic, so many lines, so many people to squeeze through that, if I'm being honest, it is kind of a negative impact on the atmosphere.
I feel like their strategy, though, of letting people in batches helps it though.
It helps at the end of it when you can kind of tell like, oh, people are wrapping up and they haven't let the next group in.
Because part of the stress is not being able to find a seat.
Sure. But I mean, we were also very close to the door. People are passing by constantly. We also had a 1-year-old with us and a stroller and all that. So, yeah, I don't know. This was just a very stressful environment.
It's probably extra stressful, too, because it was our first time.
Yeah, that we don't know what's going on. We don't know the process.
I don't think I'd be anxious going back again.
You don't?
No.
I think I might. I would definitely be more confident in my decisions of what I want to do next, but I would still feel overwhelmed. I would go at like 8 a.m. when they open because apparently they're not that busy at that time.
No, I think I'd be good because I feel like now I know where to go to order things.
Yeah. I don't know if I have the same confidence in myself.
And because I know they kind of let people in batches, so I know it eventually dies down, so you'll get a seat. I think my initial stress was not knowing what to do and not being able to find a seat when we got our food. But now knowing I know how to order, where to go to order, and eventually I'll find a seat, I'm fine.
You're just going to be walking the aisles like an old ghost.
That's fine. Eventually I'll get a seat.
Yeah. I think to me, it just added too much stress that I didn't get to take in the environment as much as I wanted. I could tell the place had a lot of charm to it. I really wanted to look at a lot of the pictures on the walls of the celebrities and people who have stopped in. And I felt uncomfortable doing so because it would have meant kind of glowering in the direction of other people trying to enjoy their meal and kind of standing at the end of their tables and stuff. And I didn't want to be that guy. So I just think the sheer foot traffic and human mass in there made it hard to enjoy being there. So if I'm going a thumb rating on the atmosphere at Katz's, I think this is completely variable. And if I went in a non-crowded moment, it would be maybe 2 thumbs up. I'm going to go 0 thumbs because it did bring me just a lot of stress.
It did bring me a lot of stress. So this time going, it's 0 thumbs. But if I were to go again, I'd give it 1 thumb up. Like, I already know for a fact.
What are you, psychic?
Yes.
You can see into the future. I know it's going to go well. I'm going to get a seat so quickly. You don't even know.
I know where to go to get my order. It's going to be faster. I can eat my food quicker.
Wait, is eating your food quicker a plus? You got a scarf?
Like getting it at the right time so that I don't have to sit there longer waiting for different items.
Yeah. I don't have a ton of thoughts on the atmosphere because I felt there were so many people in the way, but I do have quite a few thoughts on service, so let's jump into that.
Service.
So there's a lot of people involved in, I guess, the tapestry of servers and service at Katz's. And primarily, the one that I felt that I interacted with was our cutter, the guy who cut together the pastrami for us. I was told if you give a tip, they'll give you a better cut of meat and they'll give you samples. Those samples were good.
Yeah, they were really delicious.
Juicy.
Warm.
Yeah, very fresh, very fresh. And I mentioned earlier, he had a very just expectant New York face. And
he knew we were tourists, I feel.
Oh, I looked so flustered. And I think I managed to mutter out, this is my first time here. Which actually isn't true. I have eaten here before as a kid. I don't remember what I ate, and I'm sure I didn't get pastrami. So I don't really feel like I had the Katz's experience as a kid. This time I felt like I got the Katz's experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, his name was Dave. He was nice.
I liked Dave.
I felt like he took care of us.
Like, he looked very intimidating, but he was so nice. He wasn't judgy. He didn't make us feel rushed or like idiots for not knowing what to do.
Although, to be fair, we did order the food kind of as it comes. Like, we got the pastrami on rye with mustard.
I liked him a lot. And when he smiled at the end, I was like,
are you crushing on Dave? I'm right here.
I'm just thinking, oh, he seems like a nice guy.
Is that all it takes to win you over is a smile?
He looked intimidating, but he just looked really sweet after smiling.
I've been told I have resting serious face. So is that how we ended up dating? I was very serious and then I flashed a smile and you were like, ooh.
No.
No, do you not want to go into this?
I do like your smile. You have a wonderful smile.
This isn't why I brought you
all
on.
wonderful things, because I know your mom's listening.
Wait, if she wasn't, would you trash me?
No, I'd be honest. No, I'm just kidding.
Damn.
I'm joking.
Trouble in paradise.
I'm joking. But I liked Dave. He seemed really nice, especially when you were near the end.
Mm-hmm.
And he just didn't have that look of like, okay, let's just get it over with.
I feel like he was looking at me the way you kind of do when you find a lost puppy. He was like, I'll get it to its owner.
Yeah.
But nice guy. Then there was the, I don't know, security guard or bouncer. Like, I genuinely don't know what to call him. But we didn't have like much interaction with him other than the fact that Brianna and Derek, are my friends that we were eating with, had their stroller in the aisle next to us. And the security guard at one point came over and asked if he could move it to like the window area so it's out of the way. A completely logical move. Like this makes sense to do it, right? But then as he's pushing the stroller away, he kind of leans into Derek and he just goes, Killer Mike's here. And Derek's face like lights up.
I know. I saw like an instant difference in his facial expression. And the staff's like, be cool. And then later, like, you see Derek trying to like be cool.
And Killer Mike walks like right past us.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Killer Mike's a rapper. And like, I enjoy Run the Jewels. So like, I was like, oh shit, it's Killer Mike.
Yeah. I don't know who he is.
And then he walked all the way to the back and kind of disappeared. And I'm just like, huh, okay. Then I went back there later when it came time to pay, and there's an entire waiting section. Like there's literally an area of like, oh, if you want table service, sit here. And I absolutely would have preferred that. I would have felt less stressful. It would have felt more in line with the type of service we talk about on this podcast. I'm like disappointed that we didn't see it.
I actually saw it a lot earlier when I went to go order my sides.
What?
But I didn't even think of why we couldn't sit in there.
I mean, maybe it's because
it was pretty
I'm
empty.
not Killer Mike. Yeah, there were like 3 tables occupied. I mean, it wasn't a huge area.
I'm just wondering who gets to go in that area.
I have a feeling it's just if you ask, because even some of the Yelp reviews I looked at, people mentioned that they like were talking about like their waiter, which we didn't have a waiter. You know, we had a cutter, and we had cashiers, but that's it. So, yeah, I mean, if I go again, that's what I would want to do differently is at least see if we can go back there. But one of the things that I found very peculiar about the setup at Katz is if you're paying cash, you pay by the door. If you're paying card, you pay by the back, by the wait section. And it's like they're like trying to keep them like segregated from one another or isolated. And it just makes me ask a question, Joyce. I'm wondering, what's going on over there?
What's going on over there? What's going on over there? Should I worry? Should I care? What is going on over there?
Michael, what is going on over there?
Oh, thanks for asking, Joyce.
You're welcome.
Everyone knows that in West Side Story, you've got the Sharks and the Jets. But Katz's is on the Lower East Side. They need their own rival gangs, and I think it's the Cashes and the Cards. I think they got to keep the people who prefer to pay with plastic separated from the people who prefer to pay with paper. Everyone can coexist in harmony and eat great pastrami, but you gotta separate them somehow, or else just absolute chaos will erupt inside of this Katz's.
What about when they eat? Do you think they're separated too?
Honestly, maybe that's what the back section is for. Everyone who pays with cash, they get tended to because they know that those are the people that are going to be a little bit more aggressive outwardly. They don't have the relaxation to like, I'll pay this bill later. Put it on credit. No. These are people who deal in the now.
Yeah, the showy ones.
The showy ones?
I would love... No, actually, I would not love to hold a wad of cash. That's too scary for me.
I'm sorry, that's scary for you?
Yes!
Like in public or just at all?
In public. And weird to do in private, though, so neither.
I think absolutely if I had a wad of cash, I would hold that thing in private. I would just be in my room, be like, yes, money. But that's not the world I'm living.
I could give you a stack of fake cash.
It doesn't carry the same rush.
I suppose.
But yeah, I think we're trying to prevent rival gang warfare. And that is, in fact, what's going on over there.
And now, a word from our totally not made up sponsor.
Greetings once again, Harrison Augustine Flying Money Wad Emoji Arrylius XIV, back once again. You know, my father named me Harrison because it's the name that sounds closest to the word inheritance. And I just want to be upfront with you about how I make my money. Well, have my money. And speaking of money, one spot for cards, one spot for cash, but nowhere to spend my gold bars. How utterly perturbing. Might I suggest an upgrade? Grades. I remember those. Those things in school my parents used to pay my teachers to turn into A's. Money really is the answer for all things. So Katz's, do yourself a favor and accept the gold standard. Flush one gold bar and everyone will be moaning at you louder than Sally, like in that movie you filmed there. And I know what you're thinking. She was faking it. I'm rich, you think that bothers me? No, I know what you're actually thinking. Our vault isn't as large as yours. Frankly, I don't know what to tell you, but something better be done or else I'm gonna buy your manager. Anyways, my lunch break is over. I've got to go back to telling people to go back to work. See you around. Toodaloo.
So I had more encounters with the staff members than you did.
It's not a competition, Joyce.
I'm just saying, I'm not done with my service experience.
Okay, yeah. No, because you went and you got our sides.
Yeah, I got our sides and our dessert, which apparently there's like different places that you can put your order in. So the service people are staff, like they're super nice. But one of them gave me the wrong information and I waited in line for nothing.
They kind of put you in one line and then to the back of another line. And then when you got back to the front, they were like, no, you should have been in that first line.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it gets kind of confusing. So they made it very clear. Our cutter guy was like, oh, you ordered the other stuff down over there at the end.
Yes.
So I see a line at the end and I was like, oh, are you guys in line to order sides? Just to kind of double check with the other people in line. They're all saying, I don't know, like none of you ordered sides.
Y'all are lying to me.
I know. And then I asked another lady, oh, I'm here to pay, but I've ordered here before in the past, but I'm not sure. So then I asked one of the staff members in the service area. He told me to order the sides in the other line.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody was in line yet, so I was behind this one guy. Great. He's ordering fries and drinks. I'm in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I ordered, they're like, oh, sorry, it's that line. So it's the line to pay is where you also order the dessert and that one side I want, the Loctus or the
Latkes.
The latkes. All the other sides is in that little spot. But if you want the latkes and dessert, it's on the other line.
That's so convoluted.
I know. It was just like, they're all really nice. Like, they're all really nice.
They're trying
people.
to get you to where you need to be, but it's just not intuitive.
Yes.
And didn't you have a wonderful encounter with another customer?
Yeah. So everything was a positive experience with my interactions with the people there.
That worked there?
That worked there and customers. Because even the customers I asked, they were really nice. They weren't like snooty or anything like that. But when I was trying to order my side, the lady is so rude. She starts telling the staff member, hey, I want A, B, C, and D. And then he just put like his hand like, please stop. Like, I'm going to help this other person who's
been in line before you.
Who's been in line. Because we've just all been waiting for him to be ready because he was busy.
Right.
And then so she stopped talking. Right. So he helped the guy, got him his fries, his drink, and all of that. And then later, I don't think the staff member knew that I came before that lady. So he started talking to that lady. I'm thinking like, I don't need this drama. That is fine.
I'm not going to make a thing out of it. I'm not going to pick a fight at Katz's.
Yeah, like she can order. And then later,
because if you pick a fight, the credit card and the cash people are going to get into a brawl that can't be separated.
I don't need to start anything.
Yeah.
So then she starts ordering, right? I'm like, whatever, it is what it is. And he takes the order. And she looks at him because she knows that she's like being a,
Being a what?
You know.
just like put a letter
B.
Oh, okay.
So she looks at me trying to be, I've been waiting in this long line for an hour and a half, kind of justifying why she's allowed to go before me.
And it's like, I am in the same line as you and one person ahead of you, which means I have waited just a slight fraction longer than you.
Yeah, it's so
and
ridiculous.
It was not an hour.
No, it's not. Like, I don't care if you were in line 8. You know what? I was in line 1. So, like, we're
right.
The fact that I got in this line first before you, like, you're just being rude. You're being entitled. Like, whatever. I don't care. I don't need this stress for myself.
Yeah.
So I just let it happen.
So you elbowed her in the nose.
And then when it's my turn, I'm in the wrong line.
Oh, was that like when you got sent back to the first line?
Yes.
Jeez, after all that.
Yeah. But anyway, that's it.
So you mentioned cutter number 8, but I want to say that Dave, he was cutter
number 1.
And he really was number 1.
Because of his smile.
You're the one crushing on him.
I'm joking. I was just surprised that he changed his demeanor near the end.
Yeah, he definitely seemed a little bit gentler, like, oh, they can't handle me at my most New York.
Because he was like a buff guy, too.
I'll flash a smile. Yeah, he was a thick boy. Yeah, I'm going to go 1 thumb up on the service. I think overall, they're doing their best. I think having table service or at least a clearer process would bump this up to 2 for me. But I think online prepared me for a lot of rudeness, and I really didn't get that. I had intimidation, but that's me projecting my expectations. Everyone was super nice. So yeah, 1 thumb up.
Yeah, everyone was super nice, but I just hated how that one staff member told me to get in the wrong line, which when I think about it, I guess it's not technically wrong because you can order some sides there.
Yeah.
But I specifically said Latkes? What is the name
Latkes.
Latkes. Like,
I think. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm not Jewish, so.
Because everyone's nice, I'm going to give it 1 thumbs up too.
Food. Yum, yummy.
Okay, now we can talk about the thing that makes this restaurant famous. We can talk about its food. I had the experience that I had with the food, and then it's now been almost a week since we ate there, and I have been thinking about this sandwich so much that I think its rating has gone up with me over the course of the week. And I'm thinking about that sample bite that I had. And that was really good pastrami. But before we dive into the sandwiches, why don't we start with the sides and the soup and all that?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to start with?
Let's start with the soup.
You had been wanting to try your entire life.
Yes.
The matzo ball soup at Katz's.
Yes. Every single time I see a sign for matzo ball soup in LA, I want it. But I never end up getting it because no one in my life wants to go with me. And I can't do it by myself.
But if you see them, that means you're already at a place that has it, right?
No, I just passed by it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Even when I was in Portland, I saw this deli, matzo ball soup, and I talked to my sister, hey, maybe we have time. We can go to this corner.
She's like, not happening, dude.
We just didn't have time. It was not on the list. It's around now. But I've been wanting to try a matzo ball soup.
What about it?
Because I love that dumpling. I know it's not a typical Asian dumpling.
Yeah.
But it just looks delicious. I'm imagining it to be soft and carby.
And carby.
So it looks like something I would really enjoy eating.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. But I just don't have any friends who eat matzo ball soup or have these type of cuisine. So waited all my life. And I was thinking, you know what? Katz is the best place to try the matzo ball soup.
And matzo balls, for anyone who doesn't know, it's made of matzo meal, fat, and eggs. And matzo is it's like a cracker almost. It's like a type of cracker.
That they crush up and make into a ball?
I mean, just like matzo meal in general, it's kind of that same type of breading, I guess, carbing, if you want to speak your language.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So did it live up to your expectations?
Yeah, it was everything that I imagined.
And
I've never even tasted it in my entire life.
And you didn't even really start it until you got back from waiting in line for so this wasn't even hot, fresh matzo ball. Did you have a taste before you left?
No. I know. Your friend was like, you should have tasted the soup before you came here.
And it still lived up to your expectations.
Yeah, because it wasn't hot, but it wasn't cold. And it was a little lukewarm, but it was fine.
Okay.
And the flavor of the matzo ball was what I imagined. It was very flavorful.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. And I'm happy that I tried it for the very first time there. And it's something I would probably constantly order
Yeah, you think so?
at a restaurant that serves matzo ball soup.
So what's your score?
7.5.
7.5 out of 10. Not bad. That's a very solid, good soup.
Mm-hmm. But hey, that was my first matzo ball soup. I am a Chinese individual. I don't know what's good matzo ball, though.
I mean, if you're going to Katz's, it's... well, I guess I don't know what Katz's reputation is for matzo ball soup. I know that they have the reputation for their pastrami,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, you tried it at as authentic a place as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So probably a good start. Maybe next time, have it while it's still hot.
Yeah, I think I just didn't realize how long it would take to order the side.
Yeah, and I mean, you also had to
Back and
go
forth.
through 3 lines to go through 1 line. Then we got the potato latkes. This comes with applesauce and sour cream. It's basically like a potato pancake is kind of the best way to describe a latke. I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was a little too thick, a little too full per square inch for me.
I just felt like it was too much flour versus potato. That's what I felt.
I also thought it was better warm and like the flavor like depreciated. I don't know if that's the right word. Depreciated quickly. Like it got notably less good as it cooled.
Yeah. I don't understand the dipping sauces that came with it.
Yeah, they don't really blend with the flavor. It's just kind of like, here's potato and applesauce.
And
here's
sour
potato and sour cream. Or do you want to mix all 3 together? Like they didn't complement each other.
Yeah. And I think I would have preferred to eat it with ketchup.
You're going to get us thrown out of this place.
I know, but I didn't. So I just, in general, I don't think I like applesauce. So I tried it with the sour cream, but it didn't do anything for me.
Yeah. No, I had it with applesauce. And again, it just felt like I was having potato and applesauce.
Mhm.
It didn't felt like they made a unique flavor together.
Yeah.
There was no blending.
I give it a 6.4.
6.4. I went less than that. I went 5.5 for the latkes.
I just feel like it's potatoes. Like,
Yeah, it was a very average side. It didn't add a lot to the meal for me, really. I'm glad I tried them
Yeah.
just for the reputation and the authenticity, but overall, they were just okay. The fries I thought were a little bit better. I only had one. It was like a steak style fry, but I made sure I had it right as it was hot, right as it came out. I thought it was decent, but again, like I don't need to like down a plate of them. I didn't get that like addictiveness that you do get with like some fries. There's definitely fries where like I take one, I'm like, oh, these are all gonna be gone before I take a bite of anything else.
Yeah. I know
And I
how,
didn't get that with these.
Yeah, I know how fast you eat fries
Oh,
sometimes.
I thought you were agreeing in that you've experienced it, but no, you're like, no, you are that way.
Yes. I've noticed, like, save me some fries, buddy.
Yeah.
But I didn't actually taste the fries.
I went 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah. But they looked good, though.
Yeah. All right. And now the hot dog. Their owner claims that New Yorkers know that Katz's has the best hot dog in New York City. We got a couple of things that we were able to compare this to because while we were walking around Times Square, you really wanted a cart hot dog. Not a thing that I hold against you. It's a thing that I like. It's
the
classic.
experience.
It's classic New York.
It's
it
the
really
experience.
is. And, you know, that was all right. It was a hot dog. Then we went to go see the Statue of Liberty. We decided to change it up and ordered an Italian sausage from a cart. Maybe one of the worst things I've ever eaten.
It was awful, but I was so hungry that I felt like I have to eat this.
A bug landed on your arm and you just threw it to the ground, and it felt like a merciful ending of this food that I hated.
It was the biggest black
It was not that big.
bug with fangs. And like all I could think about is like, it's going to puncture my arm right now. So I need to.
It was a butterfly.
No, a big moth.
Okay, it was a moth.
But I was scared. I was thinking, no, I don't need to go to the hospital right now through like a venomous bug or something.
The hospital from a fatal moth bite.
I didn't mean to drop the hot dog.
I know you didn't, but I was glad you did because it meant I didn't have to eat any more.
I know. And I dropped there was
a lot
There was
left.
a lot left.
There was
yeah.
probably 70% of this thing left.
I think I took like a bite or two, but honestly, I was kind of glad because I just felt like this was a gross
Yeah.
sausage. It tastes like gasoline to me.
What a comparison.
And the bread was awful too. Speaking of bread though, going back, I didn't like the Katz's bread.
I thought it was fine. I mean, it was definitely better than that Italian sausage. That Italian sausage bread was awful.
But I think for me personally, if it's not a soft white bread, I need it to be toasted.
For hot dogs or just in general?
All breads, usually.
Mm.
If it's not a tortilla or a soft white bread, I need it to
You've
be
got
warmed
so
up.
many expectations of breads. Yeah, I didn't mind the bun. I actually really did like this hot dog, and I do prefer hot dogs to just have ketchup on them, but I ate it the way that Katz's recommends with sauerkraut and mustard. I put a very small amount on there. We got it on the side instead of it loaded up.
Mm-hmm.
But I really, like, their mustard is great.
Mm-hmm. I love their sauerkraut. I loved their mustard.
The
But
sauerkraut was really good, too.
I'm going to say, like, I was kind of disappointed looking at our hot dog.
Uh-huh.
It was just like a long, skinny hot dog with a big...
Yeah, it wasn't a visually impressive thing. You know, not all hot dogs are going to be big and impressive. It's how you use them. But I mean, I thought this thing tasted way better than it looked. It obviously tasted way better than the Italian sausage. It tasted better than the cart hot dog that we got. I have it at an 8 out of 10.
I think I'm the opposite of you. I just felt like, I know there was a snap and the flavor was good, but then it didn't do anything for me. Like, I gave it a 4.2.
Really? You went a lot lower.
Yeah, I think I liked the cart hot dog at Times Square more.
Oh.
It seemed dry to me.
Well, I mean,
really wrinkly.
Yeah, like I said, it was not a pretty piece of meat at all.
Like, I'm sure it's good quality. It's just, it didn't do it for me.
No, I would have liked a more jumbo hot dog.
Mm-hmm.
It was wimpy, I guess is the best way to describe it. But with the sauerkraut and mustard, this thing really came together. So yeah, I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
So now, I guess the main event, the thing that they're most known for. I think we also differed a little bit here. The pastrami on rye. I took the first bite of the sample and I was like, I get the hype.
Mm-hmm.
The sandwich, it had just the right amount of mustard. And again, I'm not really a big mustard guy, but something about Katz's mustard is top notch to me. The meat was, it had an unfair advantage. I had the sample and I was like, I already like this. So it was winning heading into the first bite of sandwich. The bread, just rye bread. You probably could have done a little bit more with the rye.
Like, toasted it.
But I didn't mind because it would have been a different texture had you toasted it.
Yeah.
And I felt like the way that it complemented the meat caused it to break apart the right way. Yeah, I mean, I'm going pretty high. I had an amazing first bite. I kind of got lost a little bit. I took it and forgot where I was. I forgot about all the chaos around me.
Mm-hmm.
In honor of their 1888 founding, I'm going to go 8.8 out of 10 on the pastrami.
I think you loved it more than me. Like, I loved the sample. The sample was so delicious. I was like, oh shit, like, this is really good. Because it was fresh, it was warm, and it's not too salty. And and
it was a good amount of fatty.
Yeah, so the
juicy.
The fact that it wasn't too salty, I was already impressed. Because all the other places I've tried is just too salty. I felt like this is kind of controversial, but it's too much meat.
It is a huge freaking pile of meat.
Yeah.
Like, it is a hunk of meat. It is a very generous portion. I mean, I'm a brisket lover. I was a fan of it. I can see it. My heart felt a certain way taking a bite. It was just like, take care of me, buddy. And I'm like, not today.
Yeah, but I still think the sample was delicious. But the sandwich was just kind of like, all right, I'm done. Like, I enjoyed the sample more than a sandwich as a whole.
Yeah.
So I gave it I think just a 7.2.
7.2. Still respectable. Still a good score.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go to the thing that you were raving about.
Yes.
The dessert, the babka.
It was delicious.
So this is like a chocolatey, I mean, how do you even describe it? It felt like a cinnamon roll texture.
But like a bread, because it comes in a loaf.
Yes,
if you
it
wanted
comes in
it
a loaf. But it's very like light and pull apart.
So when I went there to order it, you had the option of chocolate or cinnamon. And I had like a panic. Oh no, they're both delicious. Which one do I want? So
I'm glad you chose chocolate.
I thought of you.
Because I'm a big chocolate guy.
So I chose chocolate because I know I personally
Thank you.
You're welcome. I personally love cinnamon, but I know you like chocolate. So you know what? I like chocolate
but
enough.
This did have cinnamon in it.
Which I was like,
and it was like a hint.
Surprisingly
it wasn't overwhelming.
happy about it.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah, I thought it was a very interesting array of tastes and textures.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it changed tastes and textures over the course of it. Like, you know, once your saliva dissolves it a little bit, it starts to feel a little different and taste a little, like it brought out different notes of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the first time I felt like that scene in Ratatouille?
No,
Have you not seen it?
I've never seen it.
There's a scene at the very beginning of Ratatouille where it's just kind of like he takes a bite of one thing, he takes a bite of another thing, then he takes the bite together and it creates this whole new like color. And it's like just the way they mix. And I felt that way about just this ever-changing presence of textures and tastes in the babka.
Yeah, I loved it so much.
And the chocolate was rich.
Yeah, the texture of the cinnamon, the spice, I loved that texture so much.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Honestly, it reminded me a little bit of Cinnabon.
Yeah. Not Cinnabon, but cinnamon rolls.
No, Cinnabon specifically, but just in the way their cinnamon is textured.
Gotcha.
Not the whole of a Cinnabon.
Yeah.
Like the entirety of a Cinnabon.
But it was like the perfect amount of sweetness. I loved the texture of the cinnamon and the flavor of the cinnamon. It was just so good when
the fluffiness.
When they asked me if I wanted a slice or a loaf, I said slice, but
and then you regretted it.
I want the loaf now.
Yeah. I went 8.5 out of 10 on this. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I gave it a 9.1.
9.1. And then overall, I mean, I'm going 2 thumbs up on food. I thought you put all this together. Nothing was like bad to me. And there were enough things that I thought were really good. Like there are things that will get me back there. The pastrami, I will go back for. The babka, I will go back for. Honestly, the hot dog, I want to brave my picky eating and be like, I'll get it with as much mustard and sauerkraut as they deem they should put on it, instead of me kind of just like piecemeal, just throw it on there.
The only thing I would go back for is the babka. All the other items, I'm just kind of...
But there were other things that you would want to try. I know you said you want to try their turkey.
Yeah, I do want to try their turkey.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't get the same thing of what I've ordered today. Okay, maybe the matzo ball soup. I'll get the matzo ball soup and the babka and try new items.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just going to give it 1 thumbs up.
I think that's fair.
Final rating.
Now we gotta score Katz's Delicatessen and throw it up on the tchotchke of mediocrity, the scoreboard that keeps track of all the places that I've gone to so far and their corresponding scores in the search of the perfect 5.00 out of 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to go first or do you want me to go first? You're the guest host this week.
For the score?
Do you want to go first? Yeah.
Okay, so I feel very conflicted because I feel like my score is too low for what Katz's is. And I just feel guilty, but it's a place I've always wanted to go to since a kid.
Yeah.
I've wanted to do a lot of things since I was a kid, huh?
Eat matzo ball soup and go to Katz's.
So I've given it a 7.05.
That's respectable. That's a good restaurant.
But I feel like it deserves more just because of its reputation and the quality of food. I just didn't like it, but I know people love it. And I know there's nothing
you
wrong.
You didn't like it or you didn't love it?
I didn't love it. Like, I like it a lot, but I didn't love it. Like, I wouldn't go back on my own.
I think I would.
I
so 7.05?
Yeah, I might order the babka to go, but that's it.
Yeah. I feel a little bit differently. I thought it was closer to
a Mastro's?
No, but it was closer to what I would call great. I consider anything over 8 to be like great. I would say Katz's was really, really good. So 0 thumbs on the atmosphere because honestly, I thought the atmosphere was just hectic. And you know what? I want to give an award to the atmosphere. Before I give my score, I want to say that the atmosphere at Katz's was way too much.
This is
Yeah, you get it. It was chaotic. It stressed me out. There's nothing more to it. Just too many people. And I get it. It's a tourist trap.
I agree with you. It was way too much with the whole chaos and stressfulness. But if I go again, I think I'd be good.
You have confidence in yourself. I can't take that away from you.
Again, but
you know what? Also, your confidence is in fact way too much.
If only New York was closer for me to try it out again, like tomorrow.
Yeah. But yeah, so I went no thumbs on the atmosphere. I did go a thumb up on service, and I went 2 thumbs up on food. So this was a very positive experience for me. I'm going to go 7.75 out of 10 for Katz's. And when we put both of our scores together, that brings it to a 7.40.
Better than mediocre. It's better than an Applebee's.
Honestly, that's a good performance.
I would recommend this place to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a 7.4, you've got nothing to be ashamed of.
I feel like it's too low, though, but I'm still going to stick with the score. But I feel like it's too low
All
for
right.
Katz's.
You're the one who gave it the lower rating.
I know.
Yeah. We got to figure out where we're going to go next time. We got to play a little game because this wasn't the perfect 5.00. So we got to keep looking. We got to compete to see who picks where we go next time. We got to play
The headline game.
The rules of the headline game are as follows. Michael will present 3 headlines to his co-host that include this week's restaurant. They can be made up, or they can be actual headlines. If the co-host can correctly guess if at least 2 out of 3 are real or fake, they will get to select next week's restaurant. However, if Michael stumps them, he'll select again. Are you ready to play, you two?
I'm ready.
All right. First headline. Katz's Deli starts subscription service for its famous pastrami.
False. It's too much meat.
You don't think people want like the Netflix of pastrami?
Mm-mm.
All right. Second headline. Katz's Deli hosting orgasm contest for When Harry Met Sally anniversary.
False. It's a family place.
Solid reasoning. Final headline. Iconic Katz's Deli making its way to Los Angeles.
I feel like for business, it would be a truth? True? Which one is the correct word?
True.
True. But I feel like they probably wanted to keep it a New Yorker kind of thing.
Okay.
But people like making money, right?
You're running out of time.
I'm going to say true.
You're going to say true. Okay. First headline. Katz's Deli starts subscription service for its famous pastrami. You said false. That is true.
No.
Yeah.
Is there like a small amount then that you can order every month?
It was paywalled, so I can't actually see the details, but it was an article by Bloomberg. So
No. Who has time to do a subscription?
some people just want Katz's pastrami delivered to them every month. Because there's like meat boxes that you can get every month. I forget what the company is that does it, but like there's a company where you can get like different cuts of butcher box.
Yeah, butcher box. Yeah. That's a lot of meat.
Yeah, but people order it. Just because it's too much for you doesn't mean that there isn't a market for it.
I am a meat eater. I enjoy meat, but sometimes when there's too much meat,
Who are you trying to prove to?
I just want to be. I don't want people to
hey,
think.
I'm one of the cool kids. I smoke.
I don't want it to come off like I'm a complainer or anything, but sometimes excessive meat is too much.
Yeah, no, I get you. Second headline. Katz's Deli hosting orgasm contest for When Harry Met Sally anniversary. You said false. That is also true.
No, when would they do this? A 24-hour night? Like, I don't understand. How do they even rate it?
So here's an excerpt from the article. Slate.com, someone wrote an article just talking about their affinity for the movie and the scene. And said, when I heard that Katz is the Jewish deli that served New York's Lower East Side since 1888, was holding a fake orgasm contest for its patrons in honor of the movie's 30th anniversary, I knew I had to be there and that I had to attempt to embrace the orgasm scene. Not by entering myself. No, not if my life depended on it. But I'm kind of an uptight Sally type myself, which is to say, the concept of an orgasm contest was on its own stressing me out more than a little. Attention, acting, sex noises, just a Venn diagram of things I do not want to be publicly associated with at all. But on another level, I was offended by the contest's seemingly thrown together execution. I was picturing a formal competition like a gymnastics meet or a dog show with a judge's table, a slot for each entrant to perform, an announcer, a podium for the winners, and maybe all of it professionally set dressed and produced as well. This was, after all, one of the most famous scenes in film. Instead, Katz's put its rules, such as they were, on a flyer outside the restaurant and on an Instagram post. You could just come whenever, and all you had to do was take a video and post it on social media afterward with some ill-conceived hashtags. Oh,
So it wasn't in the actual restaurant.
Yeah, that's a little disappointing.
So I think I got...
No, I mean, the headline is true. Whether or not the contents of the headline live up to the hype is not what the point of this game is.
Always winning on a technicality.
No. And then third, iconic Katz's Deli making its way to Los Angeles. You said true. That is true. It's not actually opening a location here. This was an article about a pop-up they did. You could get it through Uber Eats, through a different restaurant for one weekend a few years ago.
Lame.
But that was the headline.
Did they just ship their subscription meat to the LA location?
Probably. Yeah. So you did not win the headline game, which means I get to pick where I go next time. Next time, I'm going to Texas Roadhouse. We just got back from New York. We got to mix it up with something in the middle between California and New York. Texas seems to fit the bill. So next time, I'm going to go on a 2.5-hour drive to get to the nearest Texas Roadhouse, a place that I don't think I've ever been. So I'm actually pretty excited for this one.
I'm excited for you.
Thanks. Anyways, genuinely, thank you, Joyce, for coming on and joining me for an episode. It's very fun to have you with me. I'm glad that we got to go to New York together, experience Katz's. I hope that it lived up to what childhood you was hoping it would be.
I enjoyed my time there. It was fun being on this podcast.
Yeah?
You're a wonderful... What's that word I'm looking for?
Boyfriend?
No. You're a welcoming podcast host to me. And boyfriend.
Great. Well, thanks for listening to the Fine Dining Podcast, the search for the most mediocre restaurant in America. I did not find it this time, but I will be back. I'll see you next time.
Have a fine day.
The search continues. We still need the perfect five. The search continues. Like and subscribe. The search continues. Our journey did not conclude. The Mother Effing search continues. Write us an iTunes review. And hey, while you're at it, why don't you go ahead and make it 5 stars, huh? Come on. Follow us on TikTok. The same on Instagram. All the socials at Fine Dining Podcast. We have a website, finediningpodcast.com. Buy our t-shirts, then put them on. And don't forget, you can always suggest where we go next. Okay, we're going to find it. Mediocrity. The search continues. See you next week. Hurt my throat a little.
Have a fine day.
Oh, hi there, Fine Dining fans. It's your favorite sponsor, Jub. You know, from the first season. And I just want to take this time to have a little heart-to-heart with all of you. You see, the reason I keep appearing in these post-credit scenes isn't what you think. I'm not trying to be recruited into the Avengers. You're not going to see me eating shawarma. No. I'm here because I want to be wanted, you know? I know what you're saying. Jub, you're the one who quit the show. I know, I was there. But it was a matter of pride. You see, Michael killed me off in his subconscious in the TGI Fridays episode. And I know it wasn't real, but it stung. What am I, chopped liver? So even if it's just these precious few seconds at the end of the song, I still want to reach my audience, you know? Maybe one day, Michael will look at me and he'll go, come on back. You know what? I will, but not on his terms. Invite me on the show if you're such a man. All right, I've been talking too long. I gotta go. I mean that literally. Pokemon Go. Ever since I got a phone, I can't put the thing down. Oh, there's a wild knocked owl. I'ma catch 'em all. Okay, bye.